Hey, it's Scott from New Garden Road. I'm out here in the garden, pumped up on some coffee jams. I just wanted to share with you thoughts on how we overwinter potting soil. What do we do with our potting soil when we're done using it for the season? Now, sometimes you have things growing long-standing in your pots, such as perennials or herbs, things of that nature. But what about annual crops, such as sweet potatoes or other flowers, vegetables? Because you can grow quite a lot in containers. Have you ever thought about reusing your potting soil? Because this is something that I've been doing religiously in my garden, amending my potting mixes season over season and reusing them. First off, let me clarify a little bit. I'm probably going to go between two phrases, potting mix and potting soil. But even the soilless potting mix that I utilize is labeled as potting soil. It's not a true soil though. I do like to make that distinction, but at the same time, I'm probably going to say what I'm going to say. But the thing that I want to talk about is recently I was harvesting sweet potatoes that I'd grown in fabric pots all through the summer. But then I had this whimsical idea, or I say whimsical, I don't know if it was really whimsical or not. Oftentimes I just combine my potting mix into larger containers and I'll reuse it as needed. But I had this idea, what if I put it in a larger container and plant cover crops? You know, growing in a potting mix like this is different than growing in ground and established raised beds or soil that you've really cultivated and gotten to be really healthy over time. However, you can apply some of the same principles. You can add amendments. You can continue to grow things in there because the plants are the conductors of the soil food web, and if you don't have plants in there, you don't have a lot going on. There's nothing for the biology to really tend to and exchange with. So I took a couple of old tree planting buckets that I like to utilize for taking garden scraps, cuttings to the compost, and I filled them up with this potting mix as I harvested my sweet potatoes. I didn't do much to it at all. I pulled out some of the chunkier root bits and cleaned it up a little bit, but I didn't add any amendments to it whatsoever. I simply set up these two containers and I planted seeds in them directly. In one of them I planted fenugreek. Fenugreek is a member of the legume family, so it has the capacity to fix nitrogen on its roots. It's an herbaceous plant. It's really flavorful. You can eat the young tender leaves. You can let it set pods, and then as those dry, that's where you get your fenugreek herb from. It's a really unique herb to grow in the garden and I love it. A little bit tricky in the Central Texas region. It doesn't like it real hot, doesn't like freezing temperatures. But in this case, as a cover crop, I didn't have much to lose. I might get a little bit of food out of it. Otherwise, I'm just trying to cultivate the soil biology. One thing that happened though, overnight, a raccoon came and wrecked shop. I say a raccoon, I don't really know, but I think it was probably a raccoon, but it just really made a mess. And I smoothed it out. We were getting rain during this period and I did get some germination, so not all was lost. And over the course of the next several weeks, these plants will get larger, they'll fill in, and you shouldn't be able to see the top of this soil here at all. And those roots are gonna go down, and then they're going to cultivate relationships with any soil biology there. That's going to be the continuum through the season. Now in the other container, I got a little bit wild and planted some root crops, two varieties of radish. One is the Cincinnati Red. It's new to me. It grows like a carrot, looks really cool. I'm excited about it. And the other is similar. It's the White Icicle. These are similar to daikon radish, but they don't take as long to produce, generally about 30 days or so. So in both cases, I have potential food crops growing in these containers, but ultimately, I just want to keep something growing. I want to keep roots, living roots in that soil, perpetuating the biological cycle, the nutrient cycle. So what do you do with your potting mix? Do you compost it? Do you throw it in the trash? I know there's some different angles on this, but sometimes what I hear from people is that they really feel like they have to throw it out or start over. That's just not the case. You want to compost it, one and done. That's a really great thing to do with it. You're going to cycle those nutrients and that organic matter. It's going to make its way back into the production cycle for you. But alternately, you can try something like this. Plant some cover crops in your potting mix. Let me know what you think in the comments. Your questions, they really propel me. Okay. And I think it's a really now check out more awesome gardening videos on my channel. Like this video and follow New Garden Road for weekly content. You can grow your own food. Keep it organic.